everyone. Uh, I am Jadeley TEMPLADO, and I will be reading my answers for the assignment in trading. So, first question, define what is trading. Differentiate local trading from international trading. So, trading is when people buy and sell goods or asset to profit. So, it can happen locally or internationally, which local trading happens within a single country or region and involves buying and selling goods and services in a local market. Local trading is done by local buyers and sellers like individuals, businesses, retailers, and wholesalers. Transactions are usually done with the local currency and are subject to local laws and regulations. So, international trading happens across border between different countries and regions. It involves it involves many participants like exporters, importers, uh, multinational corporations, and foreign governments. So transactions often involve multiple currencies and are subject to international trade agreements uh, and regulations. So, logistics, shipping, customs, clearance, and cross-border transportation take global trade more complex and costly. So, so for the next question, who are the winners and losers of local and international trading? So for the local trading, the winners are the local producers and manufacturers, local consumers, retailers and small businesses, and local employment. So for the local producers and manufacturers, businesses that produce goods or services for local consumption can benefit from local trading because it provides a stable market for their products and services. So for local consumers can benefit from local trading because it can lead to lower prices and a wider variety of goods and services due to competition within the local market. So for the retailers and small businesses, um, local retailers and small businesses can do well in local trading environment because they cater immediate to the immediate needs and preferences of the local community. And for the last one, we have the local employment, which local trading can support local employment by providing manufacturing, retail, and service jobs. So for the losers, we have the industries that rely on imports, industries with limited local demand, and agricultural and primary resource producers. So for the first one, industries that rely on imported materials or components may face challenges if the cost of imports rise due to currency fluctuations or international trade barriers. So for the second one, industries producing specialized or specialized products with limited local demand may need help in small domestic market. So for the third one, in regions heavily dependent on agricultural or primary resource industries, fluctuations in commodity prices can significantly impact local economies. So in the international trading, the winners are exporting industries, consumers, competitive businesses, and economically diverse region. So, in exporting industries, industries that export goods or services to international markets can experience growth and higher profits due to increased demand and access to global consumer base. For consumers, international trade can offer consumers access to various goods and competitive prices, including products that may not be available locally. For the third one, companies that compete effectively in international markets through innovation, cost efficiency, and quality can do well in international trade. For the last one, economically diverse regions. Regions with a diverse economy and a range of oriented industry can benefit from international trade diversation. So for the losers in international trading, we have we have economies that rely on imports, certain domestic industries, small scale or less competitive businesses, and economy and economies heavily dependent on a single export. So, so for the first one, economies heavily reliant on imports may face economic challenges when global prices or supply chains are disrupted. And for the second one, some domestic industries may face increased competition from imported goods, potentially leading to job losses, and economic challenges. So, in the small scale or less competitive businesses, small businesses or industries lacking competitiveness in the global market may find um, competing against more prominent international players difficult. So, so for the fourth one, economies heavily reliant on a single export may face economic instability, especially if it is a commodity with volatile prices. So, so for the third one, uh, what are the advantages and disadvantages of local and international trading? So both local and international trading have their advantages and disadvantages. So local trading is quicker, has lower shipping cost, and supports local economies, but it has a limited market size. While the international trading offers access to global markets, economies of scale, and cultural exchange, but it has currency fluctuations, complex logistics, trade barriers, and political and regulatory risk. So it is essential to consider that these factors for specific industries, businesses, and regions may when making trade decisions. So government policies and trade uh, agreements also play a crucial role in enabling or imped, both both types of trade. So, in the fourth question, explain the possibility frontier. So, production possibility frontier or PPF is a graphical representation used in economics to show the economy's trade-offs while allocating its limit resources between the production of two goods and services. So it assumes that resources are limited and that an economy cannot bow out, uh, simultaneously produce an unlimited quantity of both goods. So the PPF is usually depicted as a as a bowed out curve indicating the principle of increasing opportunity cost. So it reflects the PPF fundamental principles of scarcity, where resources have alternative uses. So, understanding the PPF helps economists and policymakers make informed decisions about resource allocation, economic efficiency, and the impact of technological advancement on the economy's production capabilities. So, for the fifth question, differentiate uh, comparative versus absolute advantage and how does it work. So, absolute advantage refers to a country's ability to produce a good or services more efficiently than other country. So, it means that the government can create the interest without help from another countries. However, even when a country has an absolute advantage, it can still benefit from specialization and trade if it focuses on producing goods for which it has a relative advantage. So, comparative advantage is producing goods with the lowest opportunity cost compared to other countries. So this means that the countries specialize in delivering the goods for which they have a comparative advantage, and then and trade trade them with other countries with different comparative advantages. So through this specialization in trade, both countries benefit as they can acquire the goods they need at a lower opportunity cost than producing them domestically. So the critical difference between the two the two concepts is that absolute advantage focuses on which country can produce a good more efficient more efficiently, and in contrast, comparative advantage considers the opportunity cost make a cost of making one good compared to another. So a country can have an absolute advantage in multiple interests, but it will always have a comparative advantage in at least one good. So comparative advantage emphasizes that both trading partners can benefit from specialization and trade because they can obtain goods at a lower opportunity cost by specializing in what they do best and trading with each other. Both countries can receive more of both goods compared to producing them domestically. So this illustrates the principles of comparative advantages and its role into international trade. So for the last question, um, enumerate and explain what are the common barriers to international trading. So international trade can be complex due to various barriers restricting or slowing the free exchange of goods and services between countries. So these barriers can be related to regulations, economics, or culture. So the most common woes are tariffs, taxes, or duties imposed on imported goods, making them more expensive and less attractive to domestic buyers. So the second most common barriers is non-tariff barriers, which include regulations and standards that can limit international trade, like for example, product quantity standards, health and safety regulations, and technical requirements can make it challenging to trade with other countries. Okay, sorry. So import quotas are also a barrier to international trade because they limit the quantity of a specific product that can be imported within a given time frame. So uh, embargoes and sanctions, government governments exposing trade restrictions on particular countries, entities, or individuals for political or security reasons also restrict or prohibit trade with targeted commodities. So, currency exchange restrictions are another barrier that can make conducting international trade and currency transactions difficult. So, in intellectual property and copyright laws also differ among countries and can create barriers to international trade, especially for industries that rely on patents, trademarks, and copyrights. So, another one of this is language and culture differences. So, it can also complicate communication and understanding between an international business partners, and logistical challenges such as transportation, infrastructure, custom procedures, and geographical distance can create delays and increase trade costs. And finally, political and regulatory risk can make international trade unpredictable and risky. So, government policies, trade agreements, and international relations change and influence business decision and investments. So, lack of access to financial services such as credit and banking can also hinder to global trade. So, reducing these barriers requires diplomatic efforts and adherence to international trade agreements. So, it can contribute to increased global economic growth and uh, cooperation. So, that would be all for my answers in assignment and trading. Once again, I am Templado Jadeley Marie B.